Alright guys, what is up here? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a Dragma deck profile after I guys showed you that 1-card, 2-card combo for the deck. You guys asked, you guys wanted a list, so here's the current list that I am testing, that I'm playing around with. As you guys can see, I'm not playing like Shaddoll or Invoke. I'm playing like a kind of a small Shaddoll engine, but I'm not really playing like anything super crazy, like no invoked package or anything like that. I'm choosing to go with the Spellbook package because all these guys, all the Dragma Knights here are, let's see here. Let me zoom out here for you guys. All the Dragma monsters are in fact spellcasters. So Dragma Knight here is a spellcaster along with Maximus, Theo, the Dragma Ironhammer, and then Alicia, the Dragma Saint. They're all spellcasters, so they all have synergy with, of course, the Spellbook cards, such as Spellbook of Knowledge, Spellbook of Master, and also Spellbook of Fate, and also the Grand Spellbook Tower. With that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into the deck profile, and I'll explain to you guys the reasons why I'm testing these. And like I said, guys, as you guys are going to notice, this is not going to be the best Dragma deck. Of course, I've never put best in any of my titles because every deck can be worked. Every deck is not the best deck. Every deck can always be improvised, adapted, and improved to fit your playstyle. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into the list here. We have 3 Dragma Knight. This card is amazing. This is, oh my goodness. So during the main phase, if a monster with special summon from the extra deck is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon it. Now, if you also have another Dragma monster on the field, you negate the effect of one face-up monster on the field. Non-targeting negation of any monster. It is remarkable. Next, we have Maximus Dragon. This card is essentially banish 1 extra deck monster from your graveyard to special summon it, and then you dump 2 extra deck monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard, then your opponent does the same. So this card is very, very remarkable. It gets your engine going, allows you to cause pop and clear boards by sending Elder Entity down here, and also by sending the new Fossil card. You arguably can play a Herald of the Arclight to get a search for Cervantes, but I've decided to go against that. And now we also are playing 2 Theo. Now with Theo is like more of your aggressive. It cannot be destroyed by battle with an extra deck monster. It allows you to reduce extra deck monsters of attack by 800, then he gains 800. So he's more so just like allowing us to beat over stuff. I play him at 2. I don't play the Oracle. Because Oracle just doesn't do anything out of rank 4 spam, and like that's not what we're trying to do. Arguably, you could almost play Albius, Nullius, Filius, the Dragon Super Poly guy, but he's not a spellcaster, so I wanted to try to not play him, just because of he would conflict. Like if you open him with a whole bunch of spellbook cards, your hand's dead. Whereas even if you open like Theo with a whole bunch of spellbook cards, you can still get your engine going. And I do take note, this guy can special summon himself. There's a monster from the extra deck. Out on the field, he can just special summon himself from free. The same goes for Alicia here on the Dragma Saint. Similar effect to Theo, can special summon herself. Also, when she's special summoned, she lets you add any Dragma card. She's the Stratos of the deck. She is remarkable. She is Jean the Art. And that's it for the Dragma monsters we are playing. Arguably, you can maybe fit in another Theo, maybe fit in another Oracle, maybe. Oracle it just doesn't do anything outside of floating, and it's not really proactive, essentially. Like, it's a good card to set, maybe, but other than that, it's not too good. But as you can see, we're playing 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, a small count. And then we're also playing 3 Ash Blossoms. Ash is just a universally good hand trap. I would not play the Rock. I would maybe side deck the Rock, just because the Rock removes all the cards, and sometimes you want your opponent to have the extra deck monster. But moving on, then we play 3 Spellbook of Knowledge. All these guys are spellcasters. Prior to this, I was just playing like 2 Knowledge and then 3 Secrets, and then playing 1 Fate. And that might actually change, believe it or not. In the upcoming list, after I tinker some more with this, I do think you guys are going to see a little bit of changes. 2 Spellbook of Master. I just think the ability to copy secrets to grab yourself a Spellbook of Tower, to grab yourself another card, or use secrets to copy the effect of knowledge to get additional pluses is really good. However, I might cut it down from 2, just because if you see it without any other Spellbook card, or like a Spellbook that has the ability to activate, it's kind of dead. So I might cut it down and then bump Fate to 3, and then maybe increase Wisdom here to 2. I don't know yet. But then we're playing 1 Upstart. It's just Upstart Goblin. Like I said, I might replace this for another Fate. Not another Fate, another Wisdom. And then you're playing, of course, Spellbook of Secrets, which is the Rhoda for any of these guys. And then, of course, 3 Disciples of Nadir. This card is amazing. This card says send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then add 1 Dragma or Albius Nullius monster from your deck or graveyard to the hand with attack less than or equal to the sent monsters. That also hints to me that we'll get another Albius Nullius Filius monster in the future. But right now, you just pretty much send ints, and then you have the ability to pop a card and add a card. But right now, the going first combo is essentially you send Al Capone down here, It lets you add the Maximus, and then you just pretty much combo off from there by being able to lock your opponent with Winda and a Dragma Knight in the hand, being live. So then of course, one Spellbook of Wisdom. I am playing this just because cards such as like Eldritch exist and Impermanence. Also cards such as Lightning Storm exist, and sometimes like in the bare bones scenarios, if they Lightning Storm you, you just need to keep like Elysia out on the field to keep your Knight live, and sometimes that's just the disruption that you need. But for the most part, then we're playing 2 Fates. 2 Fates might get bumped up to 3. 2 Fate is good. Fate is remarkable. Prior to this, the most I could get out of it was essentially a Book of Moon, but now after increasing the amount of spellbook cards that we have access to, you're quite frankly, you're easy to get to the Banish 3, as you guys will see in the replay coming up. With that being said, I would definitely bump this up to 3 just because if you open it with knowledge or open it with secrets, you don't have to grab it, and Fate is not a once per turn. Excuse me, yes it is, excuse me. You can only activate one Spellbook of Fate once per turn, but it has the ability to essentially return a spell or trap, Book of Moon a card, or non-targeting Banish, so like that was the idea of it. So I might end up cutting down Mastery to 1, playing 3 of this, and moving Wisdom up to 2. But finally, for the last card, the Grand Spellbook Tower, we are not playing the Dogma Nation. I just don't think it does enough. Like if it had the ability, like it said, like if it's destroyed or something, you get to special summon. That's cute, that's dandy. However, just the ability, like the battle disruption, I didn't think was enough, because like you got to think like Theo here allows you to decrease and increase himself. The Dragma Knight here allows you to also increase your attacking monsters. So, and then you also have Fate and stuff here to remove problematic monsters. And again, you have the ability to send cards with the Disciple here to remove problematic monsters that are big. So I didn't think the destruction effect of the Dogmatic Nation of Dragma was important. However, I did think that this effect of the Grand Spellbook Tower is really good, because this deck is a control deck and you're going to grind it out with your opponent. So this additional card you get just allows you to continue on. Like, it's phenomenal. Sadly, none of the instances came up in the replays, but anyway, moving on to the trap cards. We play 3 Dragma Punishment. This card is phenomenal. Like, if you guys don't remember, if you guys haven't checked out the 1-card combo video, please hop on over there and check it out. This 1 card just pretty much allows you to 1 card solves 2 cards. Like, it's such, like, in my opinion, control decks should not be like fair. Like, if you're controlling the board and stuff like that, you should not be making 1-for-1s. And if you are making 1-for-1s, they should be powerful 1-for-1s in your favor. This card is like a 2-for-1, so you pretty much this 1 card gets you 2 disruptions. So it's really good. It's searchable off of Elysia up here. And then finally, for the last of the Dragma cards, we're playing 3 Dragma Encounter. The artwork is beautiful, by the way. But this card says you can special summon an Albius Nullius or a Dragma monster from your graveyard, either add it to your hand or special summon it. And that's just really powerful for recursion, as you guys will see in the upcoming replay. Sometimes you brick with like maybe Maximus or Dragma Knight in your hand, and you need to get them out on the field. So sometimes in those weird scenarios, like where you open with Encounter plus these guys and none of the little guys or like any of the spellbook cards to further dig you, this card just allows you to get a body out on the field. Sometimes during your opponent's in-phase, summoning out Maximus is just super strong, because then you're just going to be able to destroy essentially 2 cards by sending the Fossil Warrior Knight and Nits, or you can potentially send the Ashen Dragon to potentially start getting your engine going. But with that being said, like, it's really powerful. I actually maybe would cut it down to 2, but for the grind game, I am playing at 3, because you got to remember, guys, like in a control deck, the more cards you open, the less cards you have to search. So essentially, it makes your Elysia search just a little bit better. And with that being said, we'll move on to the brick of the deck. The entire brick it's my Crusadia Crawler of this deck is this card Shaddoll Root. Shaddoll Root comes out in return in the same set of these guys. In the combo, essentially, if you just open Disciples, you just have the ability to end on a Winda, like lock your opponent out, thankfully, to this card. And it's just super powerful. I've bricked on it quite a bit. However, it's a 1-of. Statistically, you should not see it, but statistically, my name is Charles from Team COG, and I will see my 1-ofs before I will see any of my other starters or extenders. So it's just tradition. It will be in my hand. However, for you guys, it might be different. But like I said, the combo is in Disciples up here. You use Disciples, send Al Capone. Al Capone adds this. You ditch it off of Al Capone, add the Maximus with Disciples, and then you just banish the Al Capone and then combo off from there. So essentially the ending board, as you guys will see in the replays coming up, is essentially you have you limit your opponent to only special summoning once, and you have the ability to negate 1 effect in the hand, thankfully, to Dragma Knight. And then for the final 3 traps, we're playing 3 Solemn Judgment. I went back and forth between Solemn Strike. However, when you get Lightning Stormed multiple times, it is not too pleasant. And also this card just negates summons, which sometimes are very powerful in the rogue matchups. So having the ability to stop those normal summons, or have the ability to stop lightning storms from clearing your front row or potentially clearing your back row, because do take note, the strongest card in your deck, in my opinion, is the Dragma Knight. Well, I take that back. The second strongest card is the Dragma Knight, because he needs a face-up Dragon monster in order to use him to the full extent. The most powerful card I would say in the deck is arguably either Disciples or Dragma Punishment, because both of them send and both of them just are super powerful. But essentially, either one of these, like if you're forced to set Dragma Disciples or you're forced to set Punishment, you need to protect them from cards such as Lightning Storm or Twin Twisters, and that's where Solemn Judgment comes in. But moving on to the extra deck, let me go ahead and just sort the extra deck real quick. We're playing 1 Shaddoll Construct for the combo. You send it to add back the Shaddoll Rook. You play 3 Ashen Dragon. This card is just phenomenal. It lets you special summon or add to hand any Dragon monster during the end phase of the turn that it was sent. Maybe in the future, maybe I might cut down some more cards and play, like I said, Albius Mulius Filius, just because he is a super poly, and sometimes, again, being able to special summon him from your hand, setting up that play is pretty powerful. I don't know. It might, moving forward, maybe. I'm not too sure. Then we are playing 1 Al Capone to pretty much add the Shaddoll Rook, to dump the Shaddoll Rook. 3 Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. This is just another ability for us to dump cards and pop cards, because believe it or not, you will fly through your ints like it's not like it's just going out of style. 1 Shaddoll Window for the Shaddoll Rook is pretty much we summon this on our opponent's turn during their main phase, and we just pretty much lock them out. 3 Elder Entity Ints. Ints is just a phenomenal card, pops a card. So essentially, like this card right here becomes a 2-card pop. So you activate this, destroy a card your opponent controls, send Ints, and sends it popping another card. It's just remarkable. 1 Tornado Dragon, just because this deck, thanks to Leo and Alicia, you can rank 4 spam. Similar to with Dugaris, you just you use Dugaris to potentially draw into more cards. Potentially in some of the later game 3s, if you're pushing for damage, you can use him to double the Dragma Knight to make him pretty lethal. And finally, 1 Gravity Controller. Sometimes when you use the ability to draw off of Dugaris, you want to pretty much just link him off into Gravity Controller, which Gravity Controller is a pretty strong card. Just pretty much, again, makes the little guys up here live. But that is it for the deck profile. Please let me know what you guys think. Please let me know what you guys are testing. I feel pretty strong with the Spellbook engine. I don't think I will move to Invoked or maybe a heavier Shaddoll build. I really like the Spellbook side, the control-esque aspect of it. It's just pretty remarkable. I've never seen a control deck that I've liked that has control-esque strategies, but also has some 1 to 2 card combos that are pretty good. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think, and let's just move on. All right, guys, welcome to the replays here. I got some pretty awesome replays for you guys. And I'm pretty proud of them. I got some of going first, some going second, but you guys will see here. We're just going to start off strong here by sending Al Capone to go ahead and add myself Alicia. We'll go and activate Al Capone's effect, doing the combo pretty much that I showcased you guys in the Dueling Book replay. This deck really, I really like this deck. I can't really, the artwork, the style. I think it is tied in with Endymion and the, what is it? The Spellbook and the Invoked, their strategy. So yeah, so essentially this right here, I'm going to fire off here and do one of the best boards I'd say this deck can potentially do going first. I've contemplated playing a, what's it called, the Wind Witch engine, to be able to make Crystalline, make everything alive, and then, it's just, however, I've just derived, I don't know, I Sakura Blue, I retreated, I surrendered that strategy, because it just wasn't pretty good. But as you can see, we're playing against heroes here, which is going to be quite crazy. My hand is totally busted. I have Shaddoll Rio, I have Dragma Punishment, Dragma Encounter, which is the Monster Reborn. I have the card that's going to allow me to pop 2 cards. Ashen Dragon is going to be able to grab me the Florida Diaz, the Knight. Actually, instead, I am not grabbing the Knight. I already have the Knight in the hand. I'm grabbing Theo, which Theo, the Iron Hammer, is going to be able to pop down here. And questionably, I should have actually ashed this and then chained the Rook to this, but I did not, which is okay. I was pretty much holding the Rook for maybe the Ash for more powerful cards than Emergency Call, but however, I wasn't really thinking that he could use this to grab the Honesty Neos and just plow over my Winda. But essentially, he's just going to go ahead and potentially add, I think, Ferris? No, Solid Soldier, but I guess seeing the writing on the wall, once he would normal the Solid Soldier, I'd be able to negate it with Dragma Knight. He kind of I guess, then this is where he just questionably normal summons, what is it? I think it's, what does he normal summon? I'm trying to think. Stratos, but then he concedes as soon as he normal summons the Stratos, or he lost connection. But we're going to go into the next playthrough. I'm telling you guys, J-Rock, baby, J-Rock. We'll only lose to Team Sam with that type of strategy. But again, as you guys can see, I'm consistently open with Disciples or ways to get to this. But he's going to actually meet Disciples with an Ash. So there you go. You're going to see the main play, or one of the strongest plays, get Ashed. Questionably, I should have led with Alicia to pretty much bait the Ash because the other setup was stronger. However, I wasn't really thinking. But right here, I kind of do have like a questionable play. Instead of adding the Dragma Knight, I'm going to add Dragma Punishment along with Solemn Judgment. And hopefully I have Ash in hand. So essentially I have almost like 4 interruptions with Judgment, the ability to pop 2 cards with Punishment and Ash Blossom. I'm hoping that'll hold off strong. But we're going to see Dark World dealing. So immediately that what comes to my mind is Dark World, Danger Dark World. So if that's Danger Dark World, I'm in a beating. But instead we see Arg, the Plunder Patrol, which is a very interesting deck, overpriced but very good support. But this is where I decide to drop the Ash. We're going to see the Shipyard get dropped down, and we're going to see a follow-up from the, the Arg, the Plunder Patrol. And it's very question. I have to read the card, remember what it does. We're going to see a normal summon of Golden here, so I do believe the deck is kind of normal summon reliant, so this is where I decide to have my god say no, and stop the normal summon with a small cost of half my life. Something to always take note, guys, is Dragmas are not really huge. They get huge after a while thanks to Dragma Knight. But, so be careful with what you're paying with your life. The judgments are really like an equal trade sort of thing. Like, make sure you're using your judgment properly so that you don't end up getting waxed. But we're going to see, I think that's the new guy, Bluebeard, which is going to allow him to discard and draw. He discards, I think, another Whitebeard. That's a Redbeard, I think. But he's going to proc off the Golden Hair in the graveyard by ditching the Shipyard. And this is going to be where all she wrote. For this turn, at least. Because I have the ability to bring down my Dragma Punishment because Equal Max wills it. And that's also going to set up the Maximus in my hand to be live the following turn, which is extremely good because Maximus is just a strong advantage card. It just produces so much advantage with the ability to send the Ashen Dragon and with the ability to remove cards as well at the same time. So we're going to use Ints to destroy the set and Dragma Punishment to destroy Golden Hair. And it's the writing on the wall. He's just going to concede, and we're going to go into the third game. And as you guys can see, the J-Rock team, J-Rock all the way through. My opponents don't even know what's happening. But this hand is not too good, as you guys can see. Actually, probably one of the brickiest hands I've seen, or I've gotten. And I decided to hold back on the Maximus. But as you guys can also see, that's why I'm opting to maybe play less of the Spellbook of Masters. And that's why I might just cut it down just to be just one copy. You have the ability to search it with secrets if you need to get double searching and all that kind of stuff. And I apologize for my moving of the mouse. A lot of time, like for some reason today, it was very questionable. The connection was very worried, so I was kind of just halfway expecting the match to drop. But Bart here is going to come up with revealing the Fire True King, and is going to be not looking too good. But as you guys can tell, like, my hand's not fantastic. But we're going to make it work. We're going to do our best to make it work. And this is probably one of the biggest bricking hazards of the deck, is when you open a lot of the big guys, or like no way to like get the big guys on the field, or no way to get into like your drawing cards, which do happen. And also take note that dinosaurs do not really use the extra deck. They don't. So like your Dragma Knight is going to have to be pretty much procced off your own self. You got to summon yourself. So Sakura Blue, we're about ready to probably not, it's going to be a very rough game, believe it or not. And I apologize for the French stuff. I just enjoy making that accent. So I will do my best to refrain from it. But he's going to go into Nightmare Phoenix, which is going to pretty much, he's going to hit the encounter, which I'm just going to chain the encounter to get the Maximus from my hand to the field. Which, if Maximus is able to stick, it'll be problematic for him because of the ability Max just has to summon out Ints and the Fossil Warrior and stuff like that, and potentially send Ashen Dragon to get my play started. But we'll see if it survives the turn. And we're still just waiting still. And we're going to see the Sky Stack drop down. So this is going to pretty much forcefully proc the punishment. I want to be able to send Elder Entity Ints to destroy the Phoenix, and then be able to use use punishment to destroy the Phoenix, and use Ints to destroy the Stag. He's going to DD Crow the Ints, and I do believe he just did this because he thought it would negate it. However, I don't think that rules are in place yet. So now we're just going to pretty much hope he doesn't have anything, but sure enough, he has Big Daddy Tyranno. All they need is this card to win, and it's not looking too good. But my hand has like Spellbook of Fate and Spellbook of Mastery. All I need to do is draw into a Dragma card, or one below, and I didn't. I drew into another Spellbook of Fate, so kind of hoping as long as he doesn't draw into like any normal summon monster, but sadly he does, and it's just not looking good for me. Again, luckily, if I can draw into maybe Alicia, I can maybe be able to do something, get another punishment. But again, I draw into Spellbook of Knowledge, pitching to draw 2 more cards, and I draw Ash and Dragma Knight. So I pretty much got to kind of wrap it up from here. I see the writing on the wall. I just surrender. J-Rock again, and here we go. This is actually a video or a playtesting a fan of the channel, as you guys will be able to see down there. We're going to actually start out kind of weak here. We're just going to be able to summon Theo and just pretty much hope that the opponent goes into the extra deck so that my Dragma Knight is live. But we're going to see Ancient Warriors that don't go in the extra deck that often. So it's looking pretty rough here, and it's not looking too good. Because I actually hard opened Rook 2, and like I said, guys, it's not a Team COG video without you guys seeing the one of bricks get to my hand. So it's not looking too hot. And trying to read these guys and understand what they do, because I was actually thinking about picking them up and building them, because I think like their artwork is phenomenal, their effects are pretty strong, but I do know that they're a good going second. And this card that he actually just searched and gets to summon is actually one of the good cards that allow the deck to play going first. It gives like a deck a form of disruption, and it's a spell of trap negation. So then I pretty much I would like to tell you guys that I predicted this and that I knew what I was doing. However, sadly, I wasn't. I meant to activate the Shadal Rook and then hopefully force the negation. But I end up not negate. I end up activating punishment instead. So that's nothing. But you know, I still got Dragma Knight in my hand, as you guys can clearly see, the faithful Dragma Knight in a deck that doesn't go into the extra deck, and he's just spamming the field with these kings, or like these with these Ancient Warriors. But he goes in the extra deck, which allows me to proc off my Dragma Knight, coincidentally. So, and he's already went through battle phase, so I'm sitting pretty solid. I don't think he used Sung Gao or Suwan or Something Wong. I don't think he used his effect to be able to pop, so he messes up that opportunity. But luckily for me, I draw into Spellbook of Secrets. So I activate Secrets, and he chains the new monster, which I believe bounces. And he bounces the Knight back to my hand, which I believe he just didn't understand what the Knight did, because Knight's just going to touch back down again anyway. But contemplating on what I want to be able to do here, I think about going for Secrets, but I end up going just for, no, it's not Secrets, Spellbook Tower, but I go for Knowledge, summon the Knight, and then I make a very risky play. I risk it for the biscuit. I attack over the link, and then I go into main phase 2, activate Spellbook of Knowledge, hoping to draw into something, and I draw into Disciples, rip that top deck. And I also drew into Punishment, I believe, as well. I'm going to be able to get Maximus, and this is just going to allow me to blow through his board by using Disciples to pop the, oh my goodness, I don't know their names, but that one protects from targeting. Now I'm going to be able to use Maximus to send another Elder Entity and an Ashen Dragon to be able to pretty much just get my engine going, to be able to start snowballing or controlling the field. So I'm going to send another Elder Entity. Elder Entity is going to then pop the Ancient Warriors Chief Chowday, and then I'm going to set Dragma Punishment. Now during the end phase, the Ashen Dragon is going to activate, grab it, summoning out, excuse me, I'm not going to add to hand, I'm going to special summon Elise, then Elise is going to add me the Knight, so then no matter what happens, I have the ability to keep a Dragma on the field to keep my Knight alive. But he rips the Monster Reborn, which is, you know, I kind of think like, well, can he Monster Reborn? He ripped Chowday, I believe is why he summons back, and I don't even know what this guy does, but he attacks over my Jean, but he has an ability that allows him to bring back my Alicia, or Jean. But before he ends, I'm going to be able to activate Punishment. I'm going to be able to send my Elder Entity again. My last Elder Entity here in the extra deck. And I contemplate sending, but I send Elder Entity to send the Jean, and then I'm going to use Elder Entity Ints to send Chowday. I'm then going to attack, or I'm going to send again, excuse me. I'm going to send the Ashen Dragon and Shadal Construct. Now, coincidentally, since I opened and misplayed, but the misplay is playing out in my favor, I now have the ability to summon Winda, which is super strong. And not to mention, I'm also weeding out his extra deck, but we're going to use power or Spellbook of Secrets to grab Fate, because Fate is now live in the graveyard. Now it's essentially defend the castle sort of thing. Then I'm going to attack for 15. During my end phase, the Ashen Dragon is going to activate, summoning out, you guessed it, Jean d'Arc from Fate's Day. I'm just kidding, Alicia the Dragma Knight. The Dragma Saint, excuse me. And Saint will actually grab me the Knight in this playthrough because, no, I already have Knight in hand, excuse me. I add the encounter for recursion. So he's going to set a card, but this is where I kind of just go crazy. I activate Rook to banish the Ashen Dragon, and then I chain Fate, using Fate to banish all three, to send to banish non-targeting banish that card, and then Rook will banish Construct and Ashen Dragon to summon Winda. So now my Dragma Knight is live, and before getting his turn, I go ahead and special summon it. And I do take note I could negate my own Winda and continue on if I had the ability to, thankfully, to the Knight. But sorry for like the click out and everything like that, guys. Just I was talking to the guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and reposition the Saint, and it's just gonna be game, guys. So thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.